Yeah.
So most of the stuff that's happening, here's the crazy part. We don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
Like most of the most serious shit that's going on.
Yeah.
We don't even have a clue.
Well, I think part of the thing, look, the Epstein, the whole story is so, like, it's so dirty. It just stinks. I mean, you just look at it and you're like, dude, look, we know what we know, but knowing what we know, how could you possibly piece this together that it's not some huge scandal? Right. I mean, like already when you just go, okay, so there's a guy who was convicted of pedophilia or convicted of soliciting prostitution from an underage girl, you know, then a decade after he's convicted, or at least 8 years after, he's still like in the most influential circles with all these. And then for national security reasons, you're telling me that this has to be hugely redacted? Like, what the hell? This just makes no sense. And his connections to Ehud Barak and Mossad now all being known, it's just too crazy. And Donald Trump, I mean, I think covering up the Epstein thing the way he has like profoundly hurt him in a way that isn't even measurable on polls. And like his poll numbers are lower than they were, and I'm sure that's a big part of it. But there is something where like, look, the fundamental animating spirit of Donald Trump's political existence, his central promise was drain the swamp.
Yeah.
You know, like the reason why people love Donald Trump is because everybody on some level knew that DC is just corrupt as shit and that they're screwing all the rest of us over and they face no consequences for it. And
facts.
There's something about covering up the Epstein thing that it's like, oh, when it really came down to it, you didn't want to drain the swamp.
Yeah.
You wanted to protect them. And maybe because you're pretty close to it.
You're a gator. Yeah. Oh, it's just so twisted. And one thing that Tucker Carlson said that was interesting to me, yeah, I mean, some of this stuff is just, I mean, weird writings from the Lolita books on these women's bodies.
Very strange.
I mean, that's really wild.
Oh,
just bizarre.
There's Noam Chomsky, legendary anti-war leftist. Steve Jobs. I'm sorry, not Steve Jobs. Bill Gates. I apologize for that, Steve. R.I.P.
Yeah. Couple bow and arrows. But yeah, just bizarre that these would come out right before Christmas. It kind of like keeps your attention focusing on that.
And also
it's like a drip. It's like a morphine drip.
And delivered in a way that is more confusing than illuminating. You know what I mean? Delivered in a way where nobody's attempting to actually get information to you that you can even try. I mean, like, obviously, like, good journalists will be tearing through these documents. I think they said there's like 1.7 million more to come. The journalists will be tearing through these for years. But like, I think you just
it's like watching Lost after a while.
Well, also I can't look, man. I know people get tribal about politics, and I know like there was a whole when I came out like a little over a year ago, and I said I was going to support Donald Trump in the election. I know the Trump people were like, "Yeah, Dave Smith's on board," and I always knew I was like, "Listen, guys, you're going to be mad at me when he does something I don't like, and I'm back to criticizing him." But like, if we're just being fair about this, I can't not say this shit, dude. Kash Patel and Dan Bongino made millions of dollars, dude. Like, they made so much goddamn money. I mean, I don't know. Kash did a lot of big shows. Dan Bongino had a huge show. He made millions of dollars all day long talking about this Epstein scandal, how they were going to get to the bottom of it. He even said, Dan Bongino, I guess he's leaving now, but the deputy FBI director even said on Tim Pool's show that he had it on good authority that Jeffrey Epstein was connected to Middle Eastern intelligence. Now, which Middle Eastern intelligence do you think he was talking about? Epstein was surely working on the Saudi payroll or something like that. Like, yeah, okay. So like they said this, they promised they were going to get to, and not just did jack shit, lied through their fucking teeth, told us there were no co-conspirators, there was no sex trafficking, that he killed himself. Like, hey, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, you looked me in the eye, not to me, but to the American people, and said he killed himself. I've seen the proof. Why can't we see that proof?
Yeah. I don't even know if Kash can look somebody in the eyes, first of all.
Kash, you looked all of us in the eye simultaneously.
It is funny when you start to look at Kash Patel, you're like, there's no way this was the guy. How did we ever think this was the guy? And Tim Dillon has totally kind of like, Tim Dillon has brought this guy's life down, but to a manageable level, to a realistic level. Like, yeah, those guys, it makes you realize that there's something above the FBI and the CIA that gives them what you're allowed to work from here.
Yeah. That's
Here's
right.
it's like you sit at the kids table at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And you play with these, you can do the drug charges and a little bit of this and that, but otherwise we're gonna handle the big shit.
That's right. Or it's either that they never really got in control and there was a level of control above them, or that they were lying and that they sold out, or that they were compromised. But there's some answer to it. But there is something where like the credibility damage on all of them. Like just the amount of like street cred that Kash Patel had a year ago compared to now.
And Trump too, I think.
All of them.
But some of it is also, I think, is it's the communication, right? It's like, why not come and say, hey, I got in here. I'm not